Hi, Seth David here, and I wanted to talk about what you should do if you're searching for a new job opportunity, or for that matter, if you found yourself unemployed, which we know many people have, unfortunately, in the current economic climate, have lost their jobs. And it's not because you're not good at what you do, it's just because your company maybe wasn't so good at what they do. No, I'm just kidding, but companies have downsides because they haven't got the sales to support the overhead. And the biggest piece of any company's overhead, I can tell you as an accountant, is labor. So that's going to be the first place companies look to cut back if they feel they need to cut back in order to survive the economy. Which means a lot of us are left looking for the answer to this question, which is what to do if I'm unemployed or searching for a new job opportunity. And I have a few thoughts about this because I've been in that place where I've been looking for a new job, and I was always pretty good about getting jobs quickly. If I was between jobs, I, as many people know, moved from New York to California about 10 years ago and found myself looking for a job. I had no work. I had taken a leave of absence from my prior employer, and while I was here I commenced to look for a job. And I have a few thoughts based on that experience about what you can do if you find yourself in that same position. The first thing, of course, is, maybe I shouldn't say of course, it might not be that obvious, but I think it's obvious, make looking for a job your job. That's the first step, is if you don't have a job, or if you're looking for a job, your new vocation, your new employment is looking for a job. So that's what you should be spending your time doing. The same way you would normally get up and go to your office, now you're going to get up and you're going to go hit up the classifieds on the internet, and you're going to spend 2 to 3 hours every morning searching the job postings. Not only that, but you're going to write something specific in a cover letter to each job posting that you want to respond to. It takes a little longer, but I know that as somebody who has put ads out there to hire people, when I get a cover letter that makes it very clear that somebody has specifically read my ad, that gets my attention. It always gets my attention. At the same rate, when I get cover letters, or I don't get a cover letter even though I've asked for one, I immediately put those resumes aside. I don't even want to look at them. And that brings me to the next key point about looking for a job, which is make sure that you follow the instructions in responding to that ad to a T. When I post my ads, I'm very specific. I ask people to send in their resume as an attachment to the email, and I put a brief cover letter in the email. It's not so much that I care that much about how they do it, as much as it is that I want to see if they can follow directions. Because especially for bookkeeping jobs, it's important that somebody's able to follow directions. It's critically important, but I think it's probably critically important for any job out there. So make sure you follow the directions. The other thing is, I hate reading resumes in the body of an email. It's a mess and I can't follow them, and I don't want to, when I'm getting 100 resumes, why do I want to bother reading that one when I've probably got 10 others that are well formatted and easy to read, and all the candidates may be very well qualified. So don't disqualify yourself. Make sure that you follow directions to a T. Put the resume as an attachment, unless they ask for it. Some jobs will actually ask for it in the body of an email. I don't know why. Maybe those human resources people want to torture themselves, or they want to have to go get glasses in a few years after having attempted to read all these. Regardless, it's everybody's preference. Make sure you follow their directions if you want that job. It's important. Follow up on the responses that you get when you submit your resume and people get back to you. Get back to them promptly, but don't act desperate. You almost want to develop the mindset that you don't need this job, that you have lots of options. That's not that you don't need the job, but you want to have the mindset that, hey, I've got lots of options here. I'm just trying to pick the best one for me. Remember that people want what they can't have. So, which is not to say you want to go into an interview and say, I don't want this job. Of course, that's not what you want to do, and that's not what I'm suggesting. What you want to do is you want to be able to go in there with the attitude that, hey, I want to know what you have to offer me in terms of a job opportunity here, because I'm going to be looking at 10 other job opportunities maybe. And maybe I'll pick yours, but maybe I'll pick one of the other ones. And you go in with the attitude that I know I can do a great job at whatever it is I do. It's just a question of who's going to be lucky enough to get me as their employee. That's the mindset you almost want to develop. And it's not cocky, it's not arrogant, it's being confident in my abilities and what I can do for people. And that brings me to step number 2, which is, as long as I'm out there searching for jobs, then I might as well do step 2, which is start your own business. And what does that mean? Don't go to the attorney and set up a corporation just yet. You want to do things in order. The first objective is get the first client. And so what do I mean? Whatever you do, whatever functions you performed at the jobs you had, you can probably offer in some way, shape, or form, in some cases more obvious than others, but you can offer it in some way, shape, or form as a service. Go post an ad on Craigslist. There's sites like OLX. There's a bunch of other sites. Email me, Seth@nerdenterprises.com. I'd be more than happy to give you a list of 4 or 5 of these websites like Craigslist where you can post for free. I found OLX is a great one because for whatever reason it gets up there on the search indices. So my ad on OLX, when somebody searches for a bookkeeper in Burbank, gets right up to the top pretty much. So I don't know why, but it works. And I've gotten some inquiries through there. Even though I posted ads on that like 6 months ago, I still get inquiries from people looking for services. So OLX is a great one. You can go ahead if you can't afford a website because you're unemployed and you know you may not even be thinking along these lines of starting your own business. Fine, go to WordPress.com and set up a blog. It's free. And if you're inclined to, spend the $10 with GoDaddy.com to buy a domain name so you can call it, you know, Joe's Consulting Service or whatever you want to call it .com. And with GoDaddy, it's very easy to forward that domain name to the address of the blog. That way you can hold out an applicable name that, you know, that's not this long something.wordpress.com, and it's something that might be easy for people to remember. So this way, in effect, what you've done is you've created yourself a website. And the blog, especially WordPress, I found, is very easy to populate with content. You can upload pictures and you can add pages. So you pick your template that you like, and it's real easy. You'll spend a few hours. It's fun. It's fun to do. So it's not like, don't think of it as work. It's a fun thing to do to create these blogs. And you can write about your experiences and your services. Tell a few funny stories about things that happen while you were working doing whatever it is that you do. And so make it interesting. Make the blog something that people are going to want to come back and read. So, you know, start your own business. And, you know, again, the objective here is get one client. Even if you wind up taking a full-time job, it'll never hurt to have a few clients on the side doing what you do. A lot of companies frown upon it. Fine, let them frown all they want. I don't care as long as I'm putting money in the bank. So, you know, get that first client. Once you get the first client, what will happen is you'll put your whole heart into it because you're going to get so excited that you have this client. And what's likely going to happen is your confidence is going to build. You're going to get even better at what you do, and that client's going to offer referrals, and you can continue to post ads on Craigslist and OLX and others in order to derive more business. So, and you'll get excited. Read my article on passion. It's in my personal blog at SethDavid.com. Just go under careers and you'll scan. It's a few articles down at this point, or search for passion. I'm sure it'll come up in the search. And that will give you an idea of how to do this, how to find out what you love to do and figure out a way to make money doing it. That's kind of my mantra there. You know, I'll repeat it. Find out what you love to do and then find a way to make money doing it. It's something somebody taught me when I was 17 years old. I've taken it with me and it's proved to help me become tremendously successful in my own life and in my own career. And once you've got this going, you can go to a website like Vistaprint. You can print business cards for free, just real cheap business cards. It doesn't matter. Most of us these days are going to throw them away anyway. We're going to use them once to put your information in Outlook or wherever we keep our contacts and toss the business card. I get a little nostalgic. People think I'm crazy. So I actually save all of my business cards. I have this ancient Rolodex here. And this basically, it's just a nostalgia thing for me. I never refer to this to look up somebody's number, but I like having it. It's like a collection of business cards. It's fun. So you can do that if you want. But my point is, the business card is just for the purpose of getting your information into the person's pocket so when they get back to their home or office, they can put it into their Outlook. Better yet, make sure you get their information so you can send them an email, and make sure that in the bottom of every email you send is your name, address, web address, and any other piece of information you can think of that will help somebody get in touch with you. That is so critical. It's such a simple thing. It doesn't cost you anything to do, and so many people overlook it. Make sure your auto signature on every email you send includes all of your contact information. You'll see if you get an email from me, I have this big robust thing that has my logo and all this other stuff, and you don't have to go to that extent, but just make sure that you make it easy for people to get in touch with you. Because what happens is, you know, Joe Smith is talking to Mary Jones and he says, you know, I just worked with this guy and he does this, this, and that, and he's a great person to get in touch with. Let me see if I have his contact information. And if you're in the habit of making sure that your contact information is in everything you send, then the person doesn't have to go very far to find it if they happen to have not put you in as an official contact in their Outlook or whatever they use. And that's pretty much my 4 or 5 cents on what to do if you're out there looking for a job opportunities. You know, again, I'll summarize 2 quick steps. Make looking for a job your job, and the second step, start your own business. Once you get that momentum going in your own business, if you wind up going that route, great. What'll happen is then you'll start making some money, and then you can go form a corporation or an LLC or whatever is appropriate. Give me a call if you want more information, 866-945-8070. Love you. Have a great day.